So who actually pulled this off? His name is Ian Carroll, and if you follow security research, you've probably crossed his word before. He's the guy who keeps finding holes in the systems everyone assumes are fine. This time he picked Frontgate Tickets, the platform behind some of the biggest festivals in the country. And instead of grinding through it by hand, he pointed Claude Opus 4.7 at it and let the model do the reasoning. Here's the part that should make every security team sit up. Frontgate had been through years of professional penetration tests, real humans, paid to break in, and this bug survived every single one of them. Then one researcher with Claude Opus 4.7 walked the same ground and the flaw fell out. Same target, same bug, completely different outcome. Sit with that ratio for a second. Years of expert human testing on one side, and on the other, a single person with a model subscription. That's the real story here, because it means the bar for finding bugs like this just dropped through the floor. The question is no longer whether someone smart enough will look at your system. It's whether anyone with Claude bothers to. And notice what Carroll's actual job was in all of this. He picked the target, handed it to Claude, and then mostly watched the model work through the system's logic step by step. That division of labor matters because it tells you the scarce ingredient wasn't elite hacking skill anymore. Which sets up the question I opened with, and I promise we're getting there: how much of this chain did Claude drive on its own? So, who did Carroll actually find himself poking at? Frontgate Tickets is not a name you'd recognize from a ticket stub, but it's the back end that sells and scans your way into some of the biggest festivals in America. And it isn't some scrappy independent shop either, because Frontgate is owned by Live Nation, the same company that runs Ticketmaster. Which means the door he was standing at wasn't one door. It was the loading dock for a whole slice of the live music business. Here's the shape of it, and it's why the reach matters more than the trick. At the top sits Live Nation. Under that lives Frontgate Tickets, the platform, and hanging off Frontgate are the actual festivals it powers: Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, SXSW, and ACL. So when Carroll got inside Frontgate, he wasn't inside one event's ticket list. He was one level up from all of them at once. Think about what each of those names actually is on the ground. Lollapalooza packs Grant Park in Chicago for 4 days. Bonnaroo runs a working city out of a Tennessee farm every summer. SXSW takes over all of downtown Austin, and ACL fills that same city's park twice in October. These aren't small club shows with a clipboard at the entrance. They're some of the largest paid gatherings in the country, and one ticketing platform decides who gets to walk in. So stack it all up before we get to how he did it. One login didn't get Carroll into one festival. It put him behind the system that gates entry to a chunk of America's marquee live events at the same time. That's the difference between picking one lock and finding out you're holding the master key. Keep that scale in your head, because the mechanism he used to turn that access into free tickets is where this gets genuinely uncomfortable. So here's what Carroll actually found once he was inside, and it's worse than one broken ticket page. The hole didn't stop at Frontgate's own festival. It ran straight through into the shared back end that a whole family of festivals sit on top of. One weak spot in the reasoning chain, and Carroll wasn't poking at a door, he was standing in the hallway that connects every room. Which means the question stops being, how many tickets could he print, and becomes, how many festivals just went dark at once? Put a number on it, because the number is the whole story. Carroll was looking at more than 500 database tables sitting open in front of him. Not one festival's worth of data, the plumbing behind nearly every major U.S. festival that ran on this system. 500 tables is customer records, orders, internal configuration, the works. When you can read that many tables, you're not a customer anymore, you're effectively looking at the operator's own screen. And it got past reading. Sitting in those tables were employee credentials, the logins the staff themselves used to run the platform, so the access wasn't limited to whatever a ticket buyer is allowed to touch. With employee-level keys, Carroll could act as the people who operate the system, not just browse it. That's the difference between finding an unlocked window and finding the master key hanging by the door. Now stack that on the trick from the last section. He could already mint himself unlimited tickets on one festival. Multiply that by every festival wired into the same backend, and the free ticket problem isn't a problem anymore, it's a faucet with no handle. Every connected event, every sold-out show, all issuable from one seat. That's the real blast radius, and it's why a single reasoning slip mattered so much more than it looked at first. So Claude is sitting inside the ticketing engine with everything it needs to mint real festival tickets, and this is the moment that decides what kind of story this is. Carroll stopped. He had the right access, he had proven the chain end to end, and he never issued a single ticket. That restraint sounds small, but it is the line between security research and wire fraud. Cross it, and this story ends in a courtroom instead of a patch note. Instead, on April 25, he wrote the whole thing up and sent it to Frontgate. And here's the part that should make every security team jealous. The fix shipped the next day. One day from disclosure to patched, for a hole touching nearly every major festival in the country. That speed only happens when the report arrives with a complete map of the problem, which is exactly what a documented AI-assisted chain hands the defenders. There is a piece of this most coverage skips. Carroll wasn't working around Anthropic's rules either. Claude ships with real-time cyber safeguards designed to shut down exactly this kind of session, and Anthropic runs a cyber verification program that lets vetted researchers work past them. This is that page, live on Anthropic's site right now. Carroll was verified, so the entire run happened inside a lane Anthropic deliberately built for offensive security research. The safeguards didn't fail, they were opened on purpose, for him. Put those pieces together and you get the only version of this story where everyone wins. Carroll proved the chain, then handed Frontgate everything they needed to kill it, and Frontgate closed the hole before anyone else could find it. That is the entire difference between a case study and a 9-figure fraud headline. But notice where the restraint actually lived, in the human, at the keyboard, deciding not to click. Hold on to that, because whether Claude needed him at all is the question we settle next, and the answer is messier than you'd hope. So, the question I opened with, could Claude have done the whole thing on its own, no human in the loop? Carroll's answer is basically yes. He says the model could likely have found this end-to-end by itself, from the first weird ticket ID to the 500-plus tables. The reasoning did the heavy lifting, the human mostly steered and hit enter. That should scare Frontgate more than the bug itself, because bugs get patched and capability doesn't. Which means the real story was never one festival's ticketing bug. It sits where three things cross. Model capability, because reasoning this good is now a commodity anyone can rent for $20 a month. Disclosure norms, because Carroll reported it and Frontgate fixed it, but the rules assume researchers are still slower than attackers. And security debt, because those exposed tables were sitting there long before Claude existed. Take away any one corner and this is a footnote. Together, it's a preview. Anthropic knows exactly what this cuts both ways into, which is why Glasswing exists. It's their push to point the same reasoning at defense, using Claude to hunt flaws and shore up code before someone else's model finds the hole first. Because here's the uncomfortable math, every unpatched system on the internet just inherited a tireless researcher that never sleeps and never gets bored. The only question is, who hires it first? The person disclosing or the person cashing in? Frontgate got lucky that Carroll got there before the second kind did. So here's where I land. Claude didn't punch a hole in Frontgate, it collapsed the cost of finding a hole that was always there. The debt was old, the interest rate just changed overnight, and every company running infrastructure like this is now on the clock. If you want to know which AI story actually matters each day instead of drowning in 50 headlines, this is what I do every evening. Come back tomorrow and I'll have the next one broken down for you.